How do fundamental human rights protect citizens under law? Imagine living in a world where your basic freedoms are not just wishes but protected rights. That's what fundamental human rights are all about. They are the rights every person has simply because they are human. These rights are not given by governments. They are considered universal and cannot be taken away. They form the core of justice and equality in any society. Many countries include these rights in their constitutions, and international agreements also recognize them. At the crossroads of ethics and politics, human rights serve as a moral compass and a legal boundary. Ethically, they reflected a shared belief that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and fairness. Politically, they set limits on what governments can do. Governments must respect, protect, and fulfill these rights. This makes human rights central to discussions about the rule of law and how those in power should act. The rule of law means that no one is above the law, not even government officials. Human rights help strengthen this idea by providing clear standards to judge whether laws and policies are fair. For example, laws that discriminate based on race or gender can be challenged as violations of human rights. Courts and independent bodies often use human rights principles to review government actions, making sure power isn't abused. Human rights cover many areas. Civil and political rights include freedom of speech, the right to gather, and religious freedom. They also protect against unfair treatment like torture or arbitrary detention. Economic, social, and cultural rights include access to education, health care, and fair working conditions. While civil and political rights mainly requiring governments to stop interfering, economic and social rights often need governments to actively provide services like schools and hospitals. From an ethical point of view, the idea that human rights are universal means everyone deserves equal treatment, no matter where they come from or their background. Politically, this can cause tension when governments prioritize security or economic growth over individual freedoms. For example, surveillance programs or restrictions on protests might be justified as necessary for safety but can also infringe on privacy and free speech. Balancing the needs of society and individual rights is a constant challenge in public policy. The protection of human rights depends on strong legal systems and the willingness of governments and societies to uphold them. Independent courts, free media, and active civil groups play vital roles in holding authorities accountable. International organizations like the United Nations also monitor how countries respect these rights and can pressure them to improve. Protecting human rights under law is more than just a legal issue. It is a moral and political responsibility. When rights are respected, citizens tend to trust their governments more and participate actively in public life. When these rights are ignored or violated, injustice and inequality often follow, leading to social unrest. In the end, fundamental human rights set the standards that governments must follow to ensure fairness and justice. They help keep the rule of law fair and equal for everyone. At the meeting point of ethics and politics, these rights act as a measure of how committed a society is to justice and proper use of power. Their real power lies in the ongoing effort to make sure laws serve the people and uphold dignity for all.